On-page SEO checklist. Now, I actually done a video on this approximately 1 year ago. It was October 15th, 2024. I done a video on on-page SEO checklist. We're going to revisit it because there's been a lot of things that we can actually add into the on-page SEO checklist. Now, if you do want the checklist, it's completely free. Head over to the link down in the description, fill out this, and you will get it. When you do get the actual URL, or the spreadsheet, should I say, make certain to click on File and then make a copy, because then you will actually be able to adjust the or make changes to the actual spreadsheet. Also, if you do like SEO videos, I'm doing daily SEO videos again, so hit like and also subscribe for more videos. Right, so this spreadsheet is not like 100 checks long. I've made it as suitable for a lot of different websites. There's 3 different tabs. I explain like how the weighted system actually works, because there's also a scoring system in this sheet, and there's also a little bit of a readme as well. Now, one thing that's important about this spreadsheet is that it's a weighted system. So if you did want to change the weighting system, you could do. If you're working on like some bigger websites, you might want to add a little bit more weighted systems to like the intent and theme mapping as opposed to the foundations. But if you're in local SEO, this is probably a good place to start, and it's all like speaking to each other as well. Now, how the weighted system works is obviously we've got the actual task list here, which is just a regular checklist, but we've also got like a scoring system here. So, for example, if we have got a title tag, this is obviously scoring 0 to 5. So I could basically put in a score of 4, and it's just basically going to give me like an earned points, and right at the end it will actually tell me out of 100 what my actual score is. So if I put in like 5 in here, or if I do 5 for everything, then I am going to automatically get the highest score possible. But in a lot of cases, once we start going through some of these checks, we're probably not going to have 5 for everything. So as you can see here, we've also got like different levels. So like foundational SEO, so stuff that I would like to assume most people would know. Then we've got like contextual relevance. Then we've got intent and theme mapping. Then we've got semantic SEO. Then we've got AI ready. Then we've also got some technical SEO as well. So I'll quickly go through some of these stuff. So for example, I have pulled up a page to do with how to apply for a divorce, right? Now, the first check on the actual foundations is, does the title tag include the primary keyword? So how to apply for a divorce? Yes, it does. So we'll set that as being 5. Now, in some cases, if you're thinking like, how do I score it between 1 to 5? In some cases, the title tag up here, so how to apply for divorce step by step, sometimes it doesn't have the full keyword, but it has it in parts of the keyword. In that case, then it would be like maybe like a 3 or a 4 out of 5. Then we've got unique meta description written for CTR. So again, if we take a look at the actual SERP here, it does look like Google is actually rewriting the meta description, but what we could actually do is we can just do a little Control F on this to see if it actually has got a meta description. Meta name, meta. It does not have a meta description, so that could be one thing that we can actually improve. So we'll score that out of 0. Then we've got single H1, which this page does actually have how to apply for a divorce. So again, we will score that out of 5 out of 5. So this one, we are looking to see if it is a SEO friendly URL. In some cases, you get some URLs where they've included like some numbers. So it sometimes like looks like this, as opposed to actually having the keyword. But in this case, we actually do have a reasonable URL. So again, I'm going to rate that out of 5. And also what we can also do as well, just from a visual point of view, is make certain that we're ticking stuff along the way. So then once we've went through the entire list for this page, we can then go back and obviously make some improvements. We then have the target keyword appears in the first 100 words. So we're going to take a quick scan here, looking to apply for a divorce. Yep, that's fine. So this one, again, we're going to score this out being at 5 out of 5. Optimized images, file name. So this might be one of the downfalls of this. Actually, do you know what? They've done a decent job there. So again, 5 out of 5. And as you can see here on the right hand side here, actually, do you know what? I'm going to change this color to just being white so it's easier for you guys to follow along. But as you can see here, we are actually updating the earned points as well. So we're keeping score of what the actual points that we're getting for this page. Then we've got internal links going through to that page. Now, there's a few different ways that you can do this. If you're going to be doing this on the fly, you can obviously load up Ahrefs and take a look at inbound links going through to it. Or you can also take a look at Screaming Frog. So running an entire audit on your website and then seeing what the actual or how many internal links are going through to that page. So as you can see here, I've just loaded up the page in Ahrefs and I'm also doing a Screaming Frog as well. But as you can see on Ahrefs, it's saying 4 internal links. Now that could definitely be improved. So I'm going to probably put that as being like maybe a 2 out of 5 because again, this website is pretty big. Just to put it into perspective, this website has around 290 pages live and there's only 4 internal links going through to it. So that's probably one of the bigger issues as to why that page isn't actually ranking. And obviously we can take a look and see how many links Screaming Frog's also given us as well. So Screaming Frog is saying that we have got 12 unique in links. So it's a little bit higher than what Ahrefs is saying, but again, it's probably not up to scratch of where this page should be. So the next step is to check to see what our page speed insights is saying. So I'm going to quickly do a quick page speed insight score and see what we're scoring. So we have passed on core web vitals on desktop and also mobile as well. Performance is a little bit low. I mean, it could definitely be improved in like certain cases like the render blocking. I'm probably going to give it like a 4 out of 5 anyway. It's not perfect, but it's passable. So that's 4 out of 5. Clear CTA aligned to page intent. So this is one thing that I see a lot of websites they get wrong when they're doing like blog content and stuff. They just don't actually include any CTAs within their content. And again, this looks like it is the case. I mean, they've got like a telephone number, but you would want like a big orange CTA throughout the content and stuff, just so people can actually very easily contact you. So again, I'll probably rate this maybe like a 2 out of 5. It could definitely be improved, but again, it's not the best either. The last check on here is Meta Robots allowing indexing. So again, this page, it is actually ranking. I think it's maybe position like 14, I think. But again, if you just click on view page source and then do a Control F and just search for index, how you'll basically be able to check is if it just says index. If it says no index, then obviously Googlebot is actually not allowed to crawl this page. So again, we're going to rate that 1 out of 5 as well. The next step is contextual relevance. Now, this is a little bit more tricky. You might need a few more tools, or it might take a little bit more time to actually rate all of this stuff. But this is more to do with like entity building, like how good your actual SEO optimized content is, your actual coding on your website, and so on and so forth. So the next one is obviously identifying main entities and related entities. Now, this is basically like LSIs, or words that are associated with divorce, for example. Now, there's a few ways that you can actually check this. Like you can use tools like Inlinks or NLP API or the actual knowledge graph as well. These are like what Google uses when it comes to mapping everything out when it comes to actual entities. For the purpose of this video, all I've done is I've just said, give me 10 entities to do with how to apply for a divorce. Now, these won't be 100% accurate, but you can, I reckon out of the 10, maybe 8 or 9 would probably be relevant to this page. Now, obviously, if you did want to do this properly, you would want to sign up to Inlinks or use NLP API to actually get the proper entities. But all we're literally doing is with this list, we're going to just search to see if family court, for example, is included in the content. Again, divorce petition, decree nisi. That's actually mentioned twice as well on the page. Then we've got like final order, for example. So that's actually mentioned 4 times on the page. So you would basically do this for a lot of like the NLPs and stuff. So again, because I've not used the correct tools, I'm just going to give this a 3 out of 5. But obviously, if you're using like NLP, or even if you are using content writing tools as well, like SEO content writing tools like Surfer SEO or Market Muse, they will be able to give you a lot of entities to include on the actual page. That's one of the things that Surfer SEO does, is it extracts entities from your competitors and it gives you a list of entities to include on your page. So again, I'm going to leave that as unticked. So that would be like one of the things that I would look into. Same goes with this next step, which is Market Muse or content writing tools. Again, I'm going to assume that they have used the content writing tool, but it's just not great when it comes to including all the NLPs and the entities and stuff like that. Because another thing to bear in mind when you are doing any entity work when it comes to writing content, the higher the entities on the page, the better, because that's where Google starts to crawl your page from. So it crawls from the top down. So again, I'm just going to put that as being like a 3 out of 5 because it's probably not terrible. I mean, anything that's on page 2 of Google isn't necessarily terrible. It just needs a little bit more fine tuning. So again, 3 out of 5. Then we're going to take a look at some of the content or the actual layout of this page. So I'm going to click on to. So all I've done is I've just clicked on view page source, and there's a few different things that we're looking for. So we want a article tag. So there is currently no article tag. This basically tells Google like, hey, this is where the article starts and this is where the article finishes. There could be a section tag. There is also no section tag either. So again, this is a 0 out of 5. Again, this is all like very fine tuning. This is why it's counting the part of like level 2 as opposed to being level 1. But again, if you think of it right, we are already ranking position number 12, I think, position number 13, and for how to file a divorce. A lot of the foundational stuff, this website's actually done well. It's the fine tuning that we actually need to adjust. So then we have got the the schema validator. So we're going to run the page through Google's own schema validation tool. Schema validator. This is basically going to tell us if, first of all, if we've got any schema, and second of all, if we do have any schema, if it is valid. Now, we do have organization schema, which looks like it is set up properly. Yep, that's fine. We also do have article schema as well. Now, one thing that we could also add as well is authorship schema. So the author of this article down here, we can obviously tag that up and say like, hey, Colin Freeman has written this article, and anything that basically he publishes, Google will understand that yes, it's published by Colin Freeman or whoever's actually published it. It also ties in very well if this person is active on social media and stuff like that. So it's always good to make certain that you actually do have authorship schema. So I am going to mark this down as being like a 3 out of 5. Is actually, do you know what? It's probably like a 4 out of 5. I mean, it could definitely be a lot worse. Then we've got verify breadcrumbs as well. So that's another type of schema. So we don't actually have that. So that's 0. Check video iframe captions on page transcript. So again, this page doesn't actually have any, it's not got like a video on there. I would actually recommend doing a video. Like that's one thing that I even do on my own page here. So I'm trying to rank for on-page SEO checklist. I've got my video embedded there. They could definitely do with a video being on there. Google wants you to be not just relying solely on SEO optimized content. If you are actually being omnipresent, if you're being active on YouTube, like for example, this video that I'm doing now, it allows for Google to trust you just that little bit more. Then we've got outbound links to authoritative related sources. I know they don't actually have this. So again, that could be one thing that they would want to actually improve upon. So now we're on to level 3. Now level 3 is more so down to the actual content on the actual page, which is quite funny because this page or this video is talking about on-page SEO and we've barely even looked at the actual content up until now. So the first step when it comes to level number 3 is actually taking a look at the top 10 results. Now, again, if you're using an on-page SEO tool like Surfer SEO and stuff, they will do this for you. But again, it's always good to drop back down to page number 1 and actually look at the top 10 results and see what they're talking about. Because a lot of times they will have questions that you actually don't have. A lot of times it's also good to just take into consideration like how they've formatted their article, because right now I'm looking at this article and they've got like a numbered list, something that we actually don't have on our article. So just that alone, it's telling Google that it's a lot more useful than the article that we are looking at right now. Again, these guys also have a numbered list, like a numbered H2 or subheading list. Let's take a look at one other website here. So these guys, they actually don't have a numbered list, but again, this is a massive website. Let's take a look at page 2 as well, just to see who is on here. So again, yeah, they've got step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. So that, just by looking at some of those websites, I can already tell that these guys haven't done that. They might not even be using an SEO optimizing tool. They might just be using ChatGPT, for example. So it's always good to make certain that you are going against or going with the flow of what everybody else actually has. Then we have got building a topical cluster around that keyword. Now, obviously, divorce law is quite a big thing. Now, what we would want is to make certain that we actually do have other documents on our website talking about divorce. So we're going to do a quick site colon. So all I've done there is I've done site colon, the website.co.uk, and then space divorce. And this basically brings back a load of different articles to come that is mentioning divorce. So again, they've not done a terrible job. It's probably like maybe a 4 out of 5. They obviously do understand that they need multiple pages talking about divorce. Actually, do you know what? That's probably a 5 out of 5. They've actually probably done a reasonable job. It's probably more of a content issue that's letting them down. Then they've got optimized H2s, H3s for subheadings and FAQs. So again, scanning your competitors, looking at which questions that they have can definitely help. Again, their content is lacking right now, so I'm going to put them down as like a 3 out of 5. But what I would be doing for something like that is taking a look at positions 1 and 2 and maybe even 4 and 5, and seeing, let's just do a quick check, how to file for divorce. So all I would be basically doing is taking a look at the ranking pages and seeing which subheadings that they have and which subheadings that we don't have. Again, because we quickly analyzed the top 10 results and we quickly realized that they've got like a numbered list when it comes to their subheadings, it's telling me, or it's giving me signals that these guys, they've not done that. So again, I'm just going to put this down as being a 0. Then we've got answer people also ask. So if you've never done this before, all you would be doing is you would be searching your keyword, how to file a divorce, and scroll down to the people also ask. And this is the questions that we would basically be looking at. So what is the first thing you do when you want a divorce? Right, so we would go back to this page, we would see, have they answered that, or have they got that as a subheading? No, they don't. Okay, so the next question, is my wife entitled to 50% during divorce? So then, as you can see, they've not got any of those. So again, we're going to put that down as a 0. So the content is probably where they're lacking, and also the contextual relevance as well, because we've still not got a lot of these being as ticked. It could definitely be improved. Then they've got JSON LD. So again, we actually took a look at this. They had a few pieces of JSON, but not much. So again, I'm going to put that down as being a 2 out of 5. They don't actually have any of the JSON site link authorities. So again, manual check for external references. So again, they didn't have that. Cross-check citations and listings. Brand SERP review. So again, they've not got a SERP review. They don't actually have any citations either. Actually, sorry, this is for consistent NAP. So they probably do actually have some amount of links. One way that we can actually check that is using Ahrefs. So what we'll do is we'll scan their homepage. This is again more of a homepage check as opposed to an actual page by page check. So let's take a look here. So they actually do have some citations just by looking at like reviewsolicitors.co.uk. They've got Yell, for example, Swansea Legal. Yeah, they've got a reasonable size citation. Of course, it could definitely be better, but I'm gonna put that down as, do you know what? I'm gonna put that down as being a 5. It's, with citations, it's something that you could definitely always improve upon. Offer an organization schema alignment. That was a 0. We kind of already looked at that. Unique image captions describing relationships. So manual check captions, alt. They were actually alt tagging up their images. Again, we could take a look at Screaming Frog on that as well. They've only got one image that is missing a alt text, an alt attribute. They've got no images missing alt text at all. And they've also got a total of 316 images. So that's totally fine by my standard. Then we've got AI readiness. So making certain that they actually have got consistent mentions on listicles and directories. I'm going to put this down as being like a 4 out of 5 because it's not terrible what they had, but it's also not the best. Do you know what? Maybe we'll do this as 3 out of 5. Mentions and listicles alongside their competitors. They don't actually have any listicles. Manual read, look for relation phrasing. So use semantic triples in copy and entity. They don't actually do this. A lot of websites don't do this because this is quite an advanced thing to be doing. Video schema, present and transcribe. So again, they don't actually have any videos. Then they've got topical intent mapping. So again, this is more to do with the actual brand as opposed to the actual keyword. So these checks are more so to do with the brand as opposed to a dedicated page. So again, we're going to select that as being 0. What this basically means is the topical entity map, your brand should be alongside other entities. So again, just by them not being in listicles, for example, they're probably not going to be listed as an entity alongside their competitors. Now, the reason for this is if, say, for example, there was another law firm down the road from them and they were called XYZ lawyers, some people would search in ChatGPT or in Google AI overviews and stuff, what are the alternatives to XYZ lawyers? And if Google doesn't recognize you as being an entity associated with that other law firm, then you're not going to be ranking when somebody is actually searching for some of those words. Image, video, and metadata optimized. So again, they're probably like a 4 out of 5 for, actually, they didn't have any meta description, so they're a 3 out of 5 for that. Monitor AI overview appearance, periodic checks on brand plus target queries. So I've just searched here, does FJ Solicitors offer divorce law? Now, if Google AI Overviews does not understand this, or if it doesn't show up as an AI overview, then you've got a lot of work to do, because then Google doesn't know which services you actually offer. Now, obviously, I've just done a search. It has come back saying yes. So that's a reasonable check. So I'm going to select 5. The only time where this would actually be an issue is if like your website has crawling issues. Now, this website didn't actually have any crawling issues, which is a good thing. But obviously this could definitely be improved upon as well. Then we've got canonical tags set up. So making certain that there are no duplicate canonical tags. As you can see here on Screaming Frog, everything seems like it is working fine. They've got a few pages, but on the grand scheme of things, out of the 200 pages that they've got live, it's totally fine. So again, I'm going to put this down as being 5. This is one thing that I would not be able to check because I'm not actually in their Google Search Console, but basically what this is you go to sitemap within Google Search Console and you make certain that you actually submit your sitemap, so then Google can actually start crawling it. Again, because this website doesn't have any crawling issues, I'm going to assume that it is fine. Crawl depth of 3. One way that you can obviously check this is by looking at Screaming Frog. As you can see here, we've got crawl depth. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to here. They do have some articles that are crawl depth of 5 and 4. So we will put this down as being like a 3 out of 5. Broken links and indirects. So let's take a look and see if they've got any broken links here. So they do have some double 301s, and they also do have a 404 on an image. So again, I mean, on the grand scheme of things, it's not terrible, but we will put this down as being a 3 out of 5. Index coverage errors fixed. So that's within your Google Search Console. That's basically taking a look at your pages here and just working through all of these. Now, some of these you might not be able to fix. Like, for example, server error issue. That might have been like when your server might have been down at some point and Google's tried crawling your website. In that case, all you literally need to do is go into that section and just click validate fix. Obviously, make certain that you actually have validated the fix before you do that. So again, I'm going to assume that's a 5 for them. And then the last one here is HTTPS with no mixed. And as you can see on Screaming Frog, all 630 URLs, including the images, the JavaScript files, the CSS and stuff, it's all coming through as being HTTPS. So that does seem like it's fine. So out of 100, we have been able to get 50, actually, we've been able to get 52 out of 66. We've got a clear list of issues to completely fix on this page. Bearing in mind, this is just on one page, but one thing I will say is that some of like the technical, some of the brand awareness stuff, once you do that once, you don't need to worry about doing it consistently on all of the actual other pages as well. Actually, do you know what? Levels 4, 5, and technical, they are site-wide, and then levels 1, 2, and 3 are page level. So again, what if you were to, let's just assume that we fixed all of these issues, right? If we were to do just 5 for all of these, we would actually be sitting at 72 out of 100. There's a few content issues that the website obviously has that they could definitely fix. But again, it's probably right where they should be ranking. They do actually have got quite a few issues that they can obviously tweak and improve upon. But I hope this video has obviously helped you guys. Again, if you guys do want this checklist, head over to kasra.com/SEO/on-page/checklist. The link will be in the description. Fill out the form and you will get it completely for free. And if you guys have enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like. If you want to work with me, head over to kasra.com, fill in the contact form. Thanks for watching.